typically it doesn't really bother me to see an alligator because we're in Florida. It happens a lot. But this one was pretty big. And then when I get perpendicular with him, he turns his head and then beelines for me. His head is above the water, and he's closing the ground quickly.
We're going to bring back a little bit more entertainment to this pod. Mostly laughing at you for the things you do, but also other entertainment. Got to talk about Beyonce's new album.
I'm going to leave you to all the stuff in pop culture because your boy has no clue.
Has there at least been a TV show that you've been watching?
No. Dude, no. Let me think of the last TV show I watched. The new Avatar that came out. Live action Avatar. The Last Airbender.
Was that a show?
Yeah. On Netflix. Did you ever watch Avatar, like the Nickelodeon TV show?
No.
Ah, dude. You got to watch it.
Am I missing out? Sorry.
It's a cartoon, so you might not like it. But the new one's live action.
I didn't realize you just didn't watch TV either.
It's not that I don't watch TV. I just don't watch TV that often. If I get a show I'm really into, I'll binge it. And it'll be like a week, and I'll just not get anything important done because I'll just be binging TV. But then after that, I'm done.
I've complained about it before on this podcast, but I'm going to complain about it again on this podcast because this is my only chance to complain about stuff like this. Is why does every single show now have to come back to once a week? Because like you're saying, it's way more fun to just binge it and then be done.
Yeah.
And we're watching Palm Royale on Apple TV. It's pretty good. Manhunt. And I'm even watching just NCIS Hawaii just as like a background show. All three of those are coming out weekly now. It's ridiculous.
What's Manhunt?
It is the Abe assassination, John Wilkes Booth.
Is it interesting?
Yeah, it's been pretty good so far. It was like a little slow the first episode. Both of them were a little bit slower and seems like they're getting more interesting.
Is it like semi-accurate based on a true story, or is it all just like made up about him? Do you know?
I don't know. But I love watching stuff like this and then going back and figuring out. I was thinking if I was a history teacher, that's the way I would teach people. I would like have them watch some kind of historical movie, drama, something like that gets you invested, and then spend the next like couple classes talking about what was real and what was fake from that.
Ooh, nice.
I feel like that's way easier than just trying to like inspire them to care about the French Revolution without watching a movie or something about it.
Right. Agreed. Like I'm a lot more invested in learning about something with history if I'm either going there or if you're watching a TV show or something about it. So it's a good idea.
Maybe I should be a history teacher. I think it'd be fun.
Maybe that's your true calling, Joe.
If the pod doesn't work out and I don't become a fireman or a personal trainer, then maybe that.
Yeah, but it's going to work out. It's working out right now. What do you mean?
Yeah.
You guys great listeners.
Exactly.
Talk about why I was late to our recording session today. So going to a wedding this weekend, and I think I brought up last time I was at a wedding. I went right before the wedding and bought a suit like on the spot and was almost late. I think I told you about that last time. Anyway, that same suit, it's a little not baggy. It's just not fitted super well. So I was like, let me go get some alterations on it. Been thinking about this for months at this point because I knew this wedding was coming up. And so the wedding's this weekend, and today's Tuesday. And I'm like, this is getting crunch time. Like, gotta go get this done. So I go after work, get off work a little late. I rush there. I take it out of the car, and I don't have my suit pants with it. So I took just the jacket, which is fine. Like the jacket got a little fitted around here. And I pleaded to the lady. I was like, please, if I just bring it back tomorrow, can you get it done by Friday? And she said she could. So what a sweet lady.
So you bring it back tomorrow.
So I'll attempt to bring it back tomorrow. But yeah, I was dumbfounded. I got it off the, I had it hanging up in the car.
Yeah.
And I picked it up and I was like, uh-oh. Did these like fall out the window or something?
Did you find them at home? They were just like on a separate hanger or something?
Yeah, they were folded up. Like with some other pants that I had one day attempted to go to the alterations place about and I never did. So
at least that's fair. Like it's so much easier to accidentally grab a jacket and assuming the pants are in it. Whereas if you're going tomorrow and you grab It's like if you don't bring the pants tomorrow, that's just solely on you.
Well, I mean, this was also solely on me, and I've had
but like
months
forgivable.
Yeah, I mean, it's always forgivable.
Elaine might disagree though.
Nothing's unforgivable, right?
What if you were stuck in Hawaii and missed my wedding?
That's forgivable. That's Hawaii,
forgivable.
Dude.
Yeah,
that almost did happen.
I know.
Yeah, man, came into that wedding feeling great. Weeks of sun.
Dude, speaking awesome. Of sun, you were out camping this weekend, right? I guess that's not sun, but kind of sun, daylight.
Yeah, we went on a 3-day or 3-night camping trip to go turkey hunting. So we're turkey hunting every day. It's a good time. Got eaten alive by bugs. I don't know if you can see my arms, but these boys got bites all over them. I think they were chiggers.
You're just trying to show us your arms, your muscles.
Right, well.
Do you see where I got bit?
It wasn't a great flattering way to show it. But yeah, it was fun. Went turkey hunting. We had to take a boat out there to the spot we were camping.
No turkeys, I'm guessing.
Dude, we were on the same turkey for 3 days in a row. And the spot we were at, it was public land, like backed up to private land. And so you're on this road, and there's a fence that separates the two. And we were walking down the road, and there's a turkey that apparently like lives between the two. And every day we saw him, he was on private. So we weren't able to get him across. We got him within like 50 yards probably. And he was looking at our decoys, and he was still on the private, and then he spooked out of nowhere.
Man.
So that was tough. But it was a good weekend though. But something crazy happened on the trip. So I got in a kayak because I wanted to paddle out and listen for some gobbles, try to look and see if I saw turkeys anywhere on the shore.
Fair.
So I'm kayaking this way, right? I look over, probably like 30, 40 yards away from me is this big old alligator. Over 10 feet, probably, you can't tell from a kayak, but probably like a 12-foot alligator, which is pretty big. Probably the biggest gator I've ever seen while paddling. Typically, it doesn't really bother me to see an alligator because we're in Florida. It happens a lot. But this one was pretty big. And so I'm looking at him. I'm like, dude, that's a big gator. Pretty cool. And then when I get perpendicular with him, he turns his head and then beelines for me. He's zooming at me. Like his head is above the water. Water is rushing. Like he's making a V with water. It's like splashing on both sides of him. He is going full, not only about full speed, he's going fast at me. And he's closing ground quickly. And so I'm like, I got to get out of here. And so I didn't want to like flail around and like do any kind of crazy paddles because, animals can kind of pick up when you're doing that kind of stuff. Like you're freaking out. And so I just did some like really hard kayak paddles to get in front of him. He probably got within 10, 15 yards of me and he was still coming fast. And so I got out in front of him and I started to put a little bit of distance in between us, but he kept following me. He followed me for probably close to half a mile, I'd say, while I'm paddling. And then finally started to put a good amount of distance between us. But I had to go back the other way because it's a lake, and I had to go back to where we were camped.
Going straight back to the big boy.
Right. I had to go around him. And so I went like deeper out into the water to try to get around him. And he started swimming out there to try to get to me. And I just put the burners on as fast as I could and got back to camp. But it was terrifying, dude. He was close. Big boy. And come to find out, I think this is why. So the next morning, we woke up and we heard gator mating calls everywhere. Like it's a deep, you'll have to maybe throw up a sound of it on the pod.
He thought you were a gator bad ting?
I don't know that. I think he thought I was trying to steal his bad tings.
Oh, no. He thought you were the bad ting.
I don't know. He got nervous. He got a little insecure and was like, dude, this big boy's driving through my spot. Let me pull up.
Were you on like a 13-foot kayak? He's like, he's got a foot on me?
Yeah, I think it was like a 15-foot kayak. So I was a little bit bigger. But I think that's what it was. I think he was getting territorial.
So he's just like charging at you and like back off.
Yeah, dude.
What would they do? Like if you're in the kayak, can they like flip the kayak and get you out?
They can charge it, man. And that kayak was pretty skinny. It's pretty low to the water. Like it wasn't a closed kayak. It's open. So, I mean, if he lunged at me and, grabbed me, like it could be a gator throwdown. I mean, I was ready.
You'd be the Florida man.
Florida man fights gator, wins, goes to jail for killing gator, endangered animal.
Self-defense.
Right.
I mean, if that works for humans, like
Yeah, I think it does work, but they're pretty strict on gators down there, man. Like they're endangered. They're literally everywhere. But
interesting.
Isn't it wild that you can hunt prey all the time, but like when it comes to hunting predators like alligators and bears, and it's like whoa, can't do that.
So, spoiler alert, I did see, or like for the Florida man, it's all about Florida man saving his dog from an alligator. That's like the prompt. We're doing 3 true, 1 false.
Ooh.
And I learned that if an alligator attacks a human, they have to be put down.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's that's like if bears or anything like that attack humans, they relocate them to the grave, pretty much.
To 6 feet underground, brother.
6 feet under, brother. Yeah, anyway, that was a crazy experience. I'm in the water down here all the time, and I've never had a bad interaction with an alligator, but that was legitimately scary.
You a little nervy next time?
I might be, man. I think it was really just like situational that was a huge gator. It was like right at the beginning of mating season, and I just happened to kayak through a spot. You know, probably a lot of stuff had to come together for that, but still. Dang. And it's kind of out where not a lot of people are probably kayaking, so they're probably not used to people on kayaks like that. So
you thought you were a bad thing.
He really, yeah.
I
guess he did.
A close call, or not a close call, an experience with nature, but mine was a little different than yours. I was playing golf on Saturday, and there were a ton of beetles. And I learned that these little beetles are very promiscuous. Every single green, there were a large number of them in little clumps all over the green.
Oh, what were they
doing? Things.
Teams?
Doing bits. So that's my fun fact about nature. It must be beetle mating season too.
Beetles and alligators on the same schedule here.
The beetles like finding groups, apparently.
Fun.
Nature's neat.
How'd you play golf? Or how'd you play?
I actually played pretty well. We were just at like a par 3, which is normally my weakness. Mm-hmm. I was hitting the ball pretty decently, putting pretty decently. I'll take it.
Nice, man.
Doesn't happen a lot.
Use a driver the whole time?
Yeah,
on a par
driver
3?
the whole time. That's the secret. For anyone who didn't watch, go check it out on our YouTube channel.
Right.
Or TikTok, but if it gets banned, go to YouTube. You know.
Why would you want to take away any length on your swing for any hole? Like just in case you need
also,
it.
it's the biggest club. Better chance of hitting the ball every time. Come on, just makes sense.
Definitely does.
Yeah. You can choke up if you need to.
Yeah. I like it. So you said Beyonce came out with an album? I heard one song. No, I heard she dropped a country song, but did she drop a whole country album?
It's a country album. I've seen funny memes too that are talking about, they're like, when are people going to stop saying I like any genre of music except for country? And they're like, when Beyonce drops a country album. And
right.
For me, myself, that is true right now. It's a good album. You would actually like it, I think.
All right. You and country music need to make up, because I think there's probably some country songs that you would like. If you like, I don't know what her album's like. So anyway, I haven't listened to it. That one song's good.
No, there are, like, I don't mind Zach Bryan. I think he's pretty good.
Okay.
I like a lot more female country artists than male country artists for some reason. I think it's just like as a blanket statement, I don't like most of the country songs I hear. So when you're like if I listen to pop punk, I'm probably gonna like every single song that I hear for the most part. Maybe a couple that I don't like as much. And it's like more so I've got to find the country song that I do like. But it's good. Like she has a cover of Jolene, she has a cover of Blackbird on it. Like they're good. There's one song with Miley Cyrus on it. It's so good.
Ooh, did they throw a Billy Ray on there?
Nah, no Billy Ray.
Just Miley. But
whenever Grammys and all that roll around and they're doing a performance of it together, it's going to be so good.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't even know she dropped an album again. I knew she dropped a song. When did she drop the album?
The full album, I think, came out yesterday.
Oh,
because she did the Texas Hold'em song that you might have heard. That one was like everywhere. And then she did 16 Carriages came out from it. And that one's still really good. I mean, both of those are good songs, but you know how sometimes you listen to a single and it's like the best thing from the album?
Yeah.
This one, I think it's probably like 7th. Like Texas Hold'em is probably like the 7th, 8th best song on the album.
Oh, okay.
Like it's good stuff. One of the features on it is Brittany Spencer, but you know how most of the time you don't see the whole title.
I thought you were gonna say
I had on
Britney
my
Spears.
phone. I saw Britney Spears, and I was like,
Right.
"What? Britney Spears is collabing with Beyonce on Blackbird?
Oh my
Things
gosh,
I
yeah.
never would have thought for 500 right there."
Right. I don't think I know that song. Is that a song by somebody else?
That's the Beatles
Blackbird?
song. You don't know that one?
Not a big Beatles guy.
That's right. You said
Not
that. You
not
said
down with the promiscuous Beatles, Joseph.
that. None of that. Willie Nelson does some intros for it. Dolly
Oh.
Parton,
Nice.
Willie Jones, Miley Cyrus, like I was saying, Post Malone. Because he's, I think, doing a country album too. Shabuzi.
Lil
It's
Boozy?
good though. Shabuzi.
I don't know who Shabuzi is. I know who Lil Boozy is.
Shabuzi's Lil Boozy. I'm just saying, you should check it out. I'll send you a few songs.
What else have I
Totally.
been missing lately? Anything else new in the pop
Probably
culture
a
world?
lot. Ton of shows coming out. I thought that there was going to be a dry spell of shows right about now because of the writer's strike. And I don't know if those were backlogged more or if there were so many shows that were already like in queue that they've just spaced them out and it's going to be seamless.
What shows are coming out? I really have no clue.
Apple TV's got like I was saying, the Palm Royale, which is a good one, man.
What is that one about?
Palm Royale, West Palm.
West Palm, Florida?
Yeah, like the Palm Royale down there. And so it looks like there's going to be a little bit of a murder mystery in there, potentially. I don't know. Maybe something like that happening. It's like kind of a hustle, faking it till you make it.
Yeah.
With all the rich people. It's pretty interesting.
Dude,
I
I
like it.
love West Palm. I'm going to have to watch that. That's where I ran into Michael Jordan, my cousin.
Your cousin.
Yeah.
Dude, West Palm's sick though.
Famous people down there. Michael Jordan, me.
Have you watched the Bye Bye Barry at least?
Nope.
So I actually just started that last night. It's been on my list. For some reason, documentary is like a movie, but in my mind, because there have been so many docu-series, I was just like assuming it was a series. And so I've been putting it off to wait and just watch later. And I started it, and it's, dude, you're going to love Barry even more than you already do right now when you start watching
Man.
it.
I did watch the first 15 minutes one night, and then I got busy and I couldn't finish it, and I haven't finished it at all.
I think there are a good amount of sports documentaries out right now. There's a good amount of shows out right now.
I like documentaries a lot. I do have a problem when there's a documentary about everything.
I agree with
Sometimes
that.
I feel like it's almost like they make it more cinematic than it is.
And it's kind of hard to tell, what is just anything that you're milking for $1 versus what's like an actual good story.
Right. I do love a good docu-series, whatever. But I do think some of them are like, that was a little pushing it. But the Barry Sanders one, I'm sure, is really good because he's awesome.
Because how could it not be? It's about
Yeah.
Barry.
Does that change your idea on the greatest of all time? Any like in running back terms?
I mean, I still think Jim Brown might be the GOAT.
Yeah, he's a generation before all those guys, though, which is a little
If we're talking about,
difficult to.
because I think I was on the same page as you with Barry being. I wasn't as definitive as you with Barry being the GOAT.
I think you had Walter Payton slightly above Barry.
I think Walter Payton is the most rounded running back, I think is what I said. And I think that Barry was the best runner.
Right.
Of it.
Okay, that's fair.
And then stat wise, you've got Emmett and everything, but we talked about the team. He had a team around him. Barry had the Lions, and so it was that.
Yeah,
But
Barry's the GOAT.
I mean, he got me fired up even more so. I wish he played forever.
I'm really, really passionate about that. He's just unstoppable, man.
He was. I gotta finish that one soon. But Beyonce should listen to it.
I'll take a listen right after this podcast.
Take a listen.
Get back to you. We'll talk about it next week.
I feel like when artists do something different, most people just don't like it immediately. Like I think about when Wilder Mind came out for Mumford.
Yeah.
I love that album. I thought it was so good. And people acted like it was trash because they wanted Babel Part 3 or whatever, which would have been probably the death sentence for the band because it was overdone at that point. But they just wanted more of the same. And it seems like everyone loves this so much so far, which
Nice.
kind of interesting for Switch Up.
Yeah. It's cool when they switch it up.
We were teasing it a minute ago. Should we do the Florida Man now?
Ooh,
I
Florida
said what
man.
it is.
Let's do it.
All right. So what it is, we're doing the same format now. We're going to add a game in every episode. So most of the time it's probably going to be a Florida man. Like last year, we might do stuff where we're making best teams and going from it. We just got to keep it fun, keep it lighthearted.
Yeah.
And so today it's the Florida man. And same as last time, 4 stories, same theme, 3 are true, 1 is false. So the theme for this is Florida man saving his dog from an alligator. A, 71-year-old Florida man uses walking stick to pry open 6-foot alligator's jaw and save his dog. B, Florida man heroically jumps on a 12-foot gator's back to save his dog in Riverside Park. C, 74-year-old Florida man rescues puppy from the jaws of a 4-foot alligator without dropping the cigar from his mouth. D, 77-year-old competitive Olympic weightlifter pries alligator's mouth open to save his dog.
Can you give me one more rundown quickly?
One more rundown. A, 71-year-old Florida man uses walking stick to pry open 6-foot alligator's jaw and save his dog. B, Florida man heroically jumps on 12-foot gator's back to save his dog in Riverside Park. C, 74-year-old Florida man rescues his puppy from the jaws of a 4-foot alligator without dropping the cigar from his mouth. D, 77-year-old competitive Olympic weightlifter pries alligator's mouth open to save his dog.
I'm going with B's false because I saw a 12-foot alligator this weekend, and that thing is massive.
Dude, that's true. It's a true story.
I felt like
and
it was going to be
so
true
pumped.
because it's crazy. That's awesome.
B is true. The false one is story A. I was pumped about this because you were saying a 12-foot alligator earlier, and I'm like, yes. He sees how massive this one and how absurd it is.
That is crazy. So what's the whole story behind this? He just jumped on his back and saved his dog?
Yeah, so
Oh, man.
I'll give the little bit more context of each one. Story A, that's the fake one. The 71-year-old uses his walking stick to pry open the alligator. That's way too sane. Come on.
Yeah, right. That's reasonable.
B, one of the true ones is it was a couple walking their dog in Riverside Park in Oviedo. Is that a place?
Oviedo.
Oviedo.
Probably.
Oviedo. That
Probably
sounds
Oviedo.
right. I'm going off of memory here.
Yeah.
So in Oviedo, and the alligator, 12-foot alligator, like reaches up and snatches the dog. And the dude, I couldn't find out his age, but I found a picture. He looks like he could be our age even.
Heck
Jumps
yeah.
and jumps on the 12-foot alligator's back and like wrestles it open.
Heck yeah, dude. Let's
So
go.
sick.
The unsung
And
hero. Now that's a sung hero.
Unsung. That's a very sung
A
hero.
hung hero.
Story C, there's actually a video of this one. A 70-year-old or 74-year-old Florida man rescues puppy from the jaw of a 4-foot gator without dropping his cigar. The dude's just on his bank and he has like this little puppy. The 4-foot alligator comes up. I estimated the 4 foot. I think it's probably around 4 feet, but like snags the puppy with the cigar in his mouth. He like steps in the water, rips the alligator's mouth open, grabs the puppy, climbs out, cigar in mouth the whole time.
Well, I think I've seen that one actually.
Yeah.
And that even just sounds like legit something that would happen in Florida. Cuban
Just had to
cigar.
include it.
Yeah, that sounds spot on.
And then D, the last one, I didn't see how big this alligator was, but it's a 77-year-old who still does like Olympic weightlifting competitions. Like he had a bigger hound, I think, and an alligator grabbed it and he just ripped the mouth open and saved his dog.
You know how tough that is to do?
At 77 years old?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Dude, we got to be like that when we're 77.
Yeah. That'll be
Tough,
us
guys.
for sure.
Dude, the 12-foot alligator deal, that was literally perfect because
I know.
I just brought that up.
I was
That's
so pumped about it.
Massive, dude.
I was like trying in every way possible to make you guess that one because I'm like,
well, I mean,
it's just like
I
it's the common
really
sense.
thought that one was probably true just because of that. I was like, that's an outlier. Like, it's probably true, but Joe just put it there, so I'd pick it. But I gotta pick it anyway because that's insane.
Well, because it's like the normal Florida man is stuff like, oh, he does it with the cigar in his mouth. He does
Yeah.
this.
Even if I
12
would
foot
have
is
picked
insane.
one of the other ones, like I wouldn't have known which one to pick for false. So I was like, let me just pick the 12-foot one because that sounds crazy.
Yeah.
So I'll stand by that pick.
Nuts.
Like that's That's wild, man. Props to that guy.
Props to that dude. What a stud.
Beast. I wonder if it was
should we-
during alligator mating season. Might not have done it then.
if he was charging at him, trying to do things to his dog. Yikes.
Big yikes.
All right, let's keep the good vibes up with Iceman.
What's up, everybody? This week's Unsung Hero goes out to Russ Cook, aka the hardest geezer. Russ Cook is a guy from Great Britain who does kind of crazy physical feats. But what he's doing right now is probably going to set the bar forever for him. You see, Russ started last year running from the bottom of South Africa. And later this week, he will finish at the tip of Tunisia, having been the first person to ever run the entire length of Africa. It'll be something around 380 marathons, somewhere around 10,000 miles, depending on what his final routes will be. And you see, Russ has endured it all. Severe malnutrition, physical ailments, was robbed at gunpoint once on this trek. He ran in the middle of multiple sandstorms, including just wearing goggles and a bandana in order to prevent himself from the elements. And just obviously all the heat and other wild factors that come in when you're in Africa in general. So as you go around and trying to figure out what your next feat might be, maybe it's setting to run a 10K or a half marathon. Remember that this guy has run, like multiple marathons a day in order to accomplish this feat. And at the end of this week, we'll have done something that no one else has ever done before. Here's to you, Russ. You're this week's Unsung Hero.
That is insane.
It's crazy that he was running through the desert in only a bandana and goggles. I wonder where the bandana was.
Good question.
It's like a loincloth? Or was it around his face? Because if he was only using a bandana and goggles.
What's wild about this? I'm just gonna right back on track.
That's my biggest takeaway from that.
Dude, imagine doing this on a track. That would be insanely impossible
Yeah.
for almost every single person on the planet to just do it on a track with every single possible nutrition element that you need, all the hydration. And this dude's doing it through Africa.
Right.
Like the amount of running he's doing is what I'm saying on the track. And then he's doing it through storms.
I think it would be easier to do on a track. I mean, through Africa than on a track. Just because of the change of scenery. Like mentally, it might be a little easier to do like that.
I'm meaning
with the
like,
elements, yes. That's
I'm meaning like if you could figure out a way to just physically do the feat, that would be demanding enough. And then you're talking about like through the elements, the elevation change. It's like you're cross country running.
Getting robbed at gunpoint.
Getting robbed at gunpoint. Sandstorms. Insane.
Dang, sandstorm makes me want to run too. Run to go grab my towel.
See you.
Let's go. Yeah, that is insane. First person ever. Congrats, Russ. It's big time.
So did he finish it? I missed that part.
I think he's finishing it this week, he said, maybe.
Dang, what a guy.
He is in the process of finishing it, apparently.
Gets me fired up. What a guy.
What a guy.
All right, so let's jump into some sports. What we're going to do is the 2-minute drill. And for anyone, this is kind of a new thing the last maybe like month or so.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
what it is, kind of a little bit of it in case you missed it in sports. It's sports headlines, trying to mix in, all the sports for the most part. I just bit my mouth right there, and that kind of hurt. Don't know how that happened. But mixing in as much sports stuff as we can, just to kind of give you little talking points, what's happening in the world, in case you missed it, like I was saying, all in 2 minutes or less. So working on our clock management, keeping it fast, straight to the point. Anything you'd add on that?
Nope. I think you did a good job.
Trying my best, minus biting my mouth. That was tough. Didn't
That was
enjoy
good.
that.
You did a little addition there.
All right, so let's kick it off with basketball. We got to acknowledge the king. LeBron James scored 40 points on Sunday to join your cousin, Michael Jordan, as the only two people with multiple 40-point games after turning 39. He was also 9 of 10 from the three-point range, tying his career high.
Also in the NBA, Devin Booker dropped 52 against the Pelicans, making it his third straight game against New Orleans where he scored 50+. We've talked about the New Orleans baby cakes. Piece of cake for Devin Booker.
And in college basketball, both NC State and UConn are sending their men's and women's team to the Final Four. And this is the first time that two schools have accomplished this in the same season.
Also, someone happened to pick both of those schools on the tournament game we played.
Humble.
But while we're still on UConn, anyone who missed it, they went on a 30-0 run on the game where they beat Illinois.
Dude, it was insane. And baseball's back. In the MLB, we've already had our first no-hitter. On Monday, Ronald Blanco threw a no-hitter versus the Blue Jays in his 8th career start. And I'm pretty sure this was the earliest a no-hitter's ever been thrown in an MLB season.
Pretty good. Pirates and Yankees are also both off to a hot start, 5-0. It's the first time since 1992 the Yankees have started off 5-0, and the first time since 1983 for Pittsburgh.
And then Liberty Media, which owns Formula One and the Atlanta Braves, have acquired a majority stake in MotoGP. This deal now has the motorcycle racing circuit valued at $4.5 billion.
In the Premier League, the top 3 teams stayed the same after Arsenal and Man City's 0-0 draw this weekend. Right now, Liverpool's in first with 67 points, Arsenal's in second with 65 points, and Man City's in third with 64 points.
And finally, Brock Purdy got paid. At least a little bit. The NFL and the NFLPA negotiated an increase on their performance pay-based system that rewards players with lower salaries who play significant roles for the team. And as a result, Purdy has nearly doubled his salary thanks to Monday's bonus check of $739,795. Clock it.
Sheesh. Maybe Brock Purdy can kick his roommate out now. Doesn't he have a roommate still?
Yeah, I think he got married.
Oh,
I think
now he has a permanent
married
roommate
since the season ended.
Nice.
Yeah, he's got a permanent roommate now because his base I think is like 8 something, and so 740 essentially bonus.
A base
nice.
of less than $1 million as an NFL quarterback
What a
is
peasant.
crazy.
I know. But like a top, again, people can come at us wherever you want. I'll be generous and say a top 12 NFL quarterback.
We'll say that. Yeah.
Is
I'm not
insane.
going to argue that. Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah.
They're getting a heck of a deal. I think by deals, like in terms of the deal a team is getting on a quarterback, they've got to have the best.
Yeah. I mean, a
Can't
steal.
think of a better deal. The Russell Wilson deal might be pretty good for Pittsburgh, depending on how he plays. But still not going to be better than what the Niners have. Unless he's MVP caliber next year, then it probably still won't be better. Because Purdy was MVP caliber this year.
And half as much as Russell Wilson's crazy
Right.
deal. Which is, and you get on multiple years.
Yeah, exactly.
Although the piece of Denver having to pay for a lot of Russell, that's also just fun.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
You know what I mean? That almost makes it better.
Tough for Broncos country.
Broncos country.
Let's pay.
Let's ride.
Let's
pay. Let's pay. Dude, baseball's back though. It's fun. The Braves lost game 3 to the Phillies. Last night, 1-8, 9-0 to the White Sox. Got another game with them right now. Offense is firing though.
To be honest, I have not been able to watch baseball just yet. Like, I didn't have my phone all weekend because I was on the camping trip, but I kind of kept up with it a little bit. The Braves, what's the Braves record at the moment?
They're 3-1 going into tonight. The first 2 games, they'd put up 21 runs in the first 2 games.
I saw they were going off those first 2 games. Let me see it in the postseason.
Yeah.
Let me see it in the postseason. Golly, man.
Would love to
Gotta
see
beat Philly.
that note, though, apparently Philly was going into the series. They're like, yeah, it's going to be a playoff atmosphere going into these. And then like a game in, they lose. Game 2, they lose. And they're like, well, no, this doesn't matter. We'll see you in October.
Right.
It's like, I get what you're saying. That's valid. But also, which one is it?
I saw one of the announcers on Sunday, and this is wild to say. He said that Philly fans would have probably booed Jesus after he was resurrected. He said that on live TV. He said these fans are
wild.
ruthless. They probably would have booed Jesus' resurrection.
But also fair.
That's crazy to say, but yeah. I mean, Philly fans are wild, so... But that's just aggressive, dude.
That is aggressive.
I mean, I guess that's real. I saw it on social media, so who knows? It could have been something made up. But from all I could tell, it was real. Which is crazy.
Because game 1, they went up 2-0. They hit a 2-run homer and then scored, I think, had like a big inning. And the Braves ended up scoring 9. I can't remember if it was in 1 or 2 innings or how it broke down. And then they scored 1 more. But in that 1 innings, dude, they were clearing out of the stadium. At that
Were
point.
they booing too? I'm assuming that's what he's talking
Oh
about.
yeah, they were booing so much in the first 2 games.
Dude. That's
Philly, man.
they're wild.
Dude, well, that's a perfect transition because I don't know if you've been seeing it. I've been seeing a lot of people talking about the Jets. Are they back? And one of the moves, Hassan Reddick from the Eagles, I was about to say the Phillies, from the Eagles to the Jets. This offseason, they picked up 2 tackles, Tyron Smith Morgan Moses, then Hassan Reddick and Mike Williams. And I'm curious. We'll ask a Dolphins fan first. Do you think they have a chance of actually being contenders this year?
Yes. I think they have a real opportunity to battle for third in the AFC East.
Battle for third.
Battle for third. That's
The
what I'm going with.
Patriots aren't giving it to them. That's
No.
what you're saying.
Nope. Battle for third. That's their ceiling. I think their ceiling maybe second. They won't win the AFC East. I don't care if Rodgers is back or not. They're the Jets.
What's interesting about this is talent is all there for the team. They already had one of the best defenses in the league. Then you get Hassan Reddick, who last year, I think he was the 43rd highest graded edge. But like if you look at 2022 and just the impact on the defense as a whole that he had is a huge piece. I think that they're going to have a top 3 defense easily if they already didn't have that.
Right.
But so like that one's a big pickup. He hasn't had really any injuries. He's 29 years old. All that's good. If you look at Tyron Smith and Morgan Moses, they are Tyron Smith was the 4th highest graded tackle last year. Morgan Moses was the 10th highest graded tackle last season. But they're both 33 years old and have both dealt with a number of injuries.
Yeah. That's tough. They play on that
same with
turf
Mike
too.
Williams. On that turf. And then same with Mike Williams. He's 29, but he missed almost all of last year with the torn ACL and missed a good bit of 2022 with an ankle injury.
Right. And doesn't he have a history of neck injury as well?
I believe so. Yeah.
Because he ran into the goalpost at Clemson, right?
I'm pretty sure.
I think that's what happened. No, they definitely have talent. Like they have playmakers. They have Mike Williams. They have Wilson. They have Hall. They're going to have Aaron Rodgers. Just don't see it coming together for the Jets, man. Like just the fact that last year, once Aaron Rodgers went down, they had no chance.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's a big hit, but it didn't even feel like they were battling. They won that game. And then they didn't really have any good wins the rest of the season. Maybe one. They upset
had a
somebody.
couple
They beat the
moments
Chiefs,
later.
right?
Yeah. Oh, no, you remember they got robbed against the Chiefs big time.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They should have beat the Chiefs.
They should have beat the Chiefs. Zach Wilson looked really good in that game, actually.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. They just seemed like they imploded when adversity hit. And, like, I get it. It's your starting quarterback. It's a big deal. But I just don't see it happening for the Jets.
To me, there's such a big question mark around could they stay healthy? Because, like I said, all 3 of those people, minus Hassan Reddick, and obviously it's football, even him, but the 3 of them have had a longer history of injuries and are getting older. You've got Aaron Rodgers, who's 40 now, coming off an Achilles injury. It's like if they're healthy, these are still 2 of the best tackles in the league. Their line's going to be good. You've got Breece Hall. You've got Garrett Wilson and Mike Williams. Those are like weapons. You've got Aaron Rodgers, who obviously can still throw the ball. And he has his experience back there. They could be nasty. The defense is going to be really good. But to me, it's just like you're saying, well, you're counting on a bunch of older veterans that have a history with injury.
You're plugging and playing pretty much. Breece Hall is, I wouldn't say he's like super proven just yet.
I think he's nasty though.
I mean, he's
personally
good, but he's not like, I wouldn't say that he's one of the most proven running backs around or anything by any means. Same with especially Garrett Wilson. Like I think he could be really good, but has he shown that quite yet? I don't think so necessarily. He's had a couple nasty catches. He's done well, but he's not, like I wouldn't say he's a top wide receiver in the game at the moment. I think he has the ability to be. I'm not buying it quite yet. I'm not buying it. I think I am though. The hype is, I think the possibility is there. I'm definitely just not buying it.
That's fair to have doubts and to not be buying it. To me, I'm like, there were so many times the last couple years where their defense had them in games and they just could not do a single thing offensively.
Right.
And I'm like, you're making your line way better, which obviously impacts everything. You've got two really good weapons now at receiver. Because again, I'm not saying Garrett Wilson's a top 5 receiver, but like he's obviously still a really good weapon. And then if Aaron Rodgers can stay healthy, like you still have Aaron Rodgers. I'm like, man, there's no way this offense isn't an improvement on the last 2 seasons.
I think,
and if their defense is even close to as good.
But at the same time, I think their skill position is, as a whole, 3rd in the AFC East.
1 Dolphins, 2 Bills,
big step
3. If I get 5 points to give to them, it's like 3 points Dolphins, 1.1 point Bills, 0.9 points Jets.
Yeah, 0 points Patriots.
0 points Patriots. Minus 1 point. We'll split the point between the other way.
Right. 1.5.
Defense, hands down Jets. It's like the flip. Like they're the 3. Then Bills would be... Bills is better than the Dolphins right now. Bills defense is better than Dolphins.
I don't know, man. We made some huge moves in the offseason.
Y'all did make some moves. You also lost Xavier Howard, right?
Yes.
And Teron Armstead.
Christian Wilkins.
Mm-hmm. So you made some moves, lost some people.
We also lost Van Geekel. Yeah, I'm not worried. I think we're number 2. I think we're number 2 over the Bills.
Number 2 defense above Bills, right? You're saying well behind the Jets, though.
Behind the Jets.
Well behind the Jets. If I gave you well above on skill position.
Behind the Jets.
Anyway, I guess we'll just wait and see. My thought is the Jets might actually, if they're not cursed, that's the big if. If they're not cursed, they might be a force this season.
I'm not buying it, man. Let's flip to basketball for a second.
Oh, yeah, we got to talk a little college basketball.
Tournament basketball. How's your bracket?
Women's South Carolina. That's all we need to talk about.
Yeah, dude. Well, we also need to mention, probably should add this in the 2-minute drill. Caitlin Clark last night dropped 41 to beat LSU. She assisted on I think her assist in points were 70 out of Iowa's 90 points or something crazy. But anyway, she hit 9 threes to tie a women's NCAA tournament record for threes in a game.
Dude, she's nuts.
She's nasty.
Because, yeah, that's terrifying.
Yeah, absolutely nasty. I still do want to pose the question, what level, and this is no disrespect to Caitlin Clark at all because she's nasty. I used to not like women's basketball at all, but I respect the game now. It's a lot. It's definitely grown a lot. What level of male basketball player could she beat?
Are we talking one-on-one?
Yes.
I mean, size is such a big thing because it's with jumping, it's
no.
Certain
Let's
people,
say
it's like
a
she
male
just couldn't get a shot off.
that's
Of.
the same height.
I don't know. What do you think?
It's hard to say. I just wanted to pose the question. I think this is going to sound crazy. I think good. I'm not saying any. I think she would have a tough time scoring on a good, sound high school basketball player that's a freshman or sophomore. I mean, no disrespect whatsoever, but it's a valid question, I think.
Because it's in soccer, I used to think there was the least gap between.
Right. And then.
And one of the U.S. women's national teams that won lost to Dallas FC's 15U boys team.
Right. So.
Which is very good. Yeah.
It's just and it's nothing, not a rip at all. But there are physical differences. Sorry for people that think there aren't. I'm a PA, so there are. That's why there's different sports for women and different sports for men. So,
I'm gonna stay out of it. Let you just catch the heat.
No, bring me the heat. I'll bring up scientific evidence.
Yeah,
about this. But yeah, and again, no disrespect. I think it's just
if you're talking about shot,
I think it's just speed and size. But yeah, if you're doing a 3-point shootout, she's wiping the floor.
Yeah,
she's balling.
I dug
a hole for myself there probably.
Yeah, probably.
Dude, you have to go look up DJ Burns highlights. He's the size of a NFL tackle, probably.
Oh, this is the guy Chris was talking about?
We were both talking about, yeah. He's the size of an NFL tackle and just has the nastiest touch on the ball. Spin move, floater. He's disgusting, dude. The man of the tournament so far.
Dude, that's nuts.
Carrying NC State, which was a steal at a $2 pick.
I know. I was about to say, because like we'll wrap it up real quick and hit the draft, but like before that, you crushed the UConn NC State picks. You dominate. Like I would add it up, but we don't even need to. You're just dominating us.
Yeah, I would have won the Undrafted Amateurs League had I done this. I had NC State in the Elite Eight, and I had them losing to Houston. But if I would have just put them one round further, which I was going to do, I was going to put them against South Carolina, which South Carolina was a terrible pick, but I had to do it. So yeah. I have UConn and Alabama, and I almost had NC State, and I blew it. Yeah,
that would have been impressive. You still like UConn taking it all? I mean, the 30-0 run was insane.
Yeah, man. I don't see anybody beating UConn, honestly.
It's theirs to lose, at least.
It's definitely is. And it's been like that from the beginning, which is crazy to have a run where, like, the entire year they just looked like the best team. And back-to-back in basketball like that doesn't happen often at all, especially not when you're the number one seed all the way through the year. So
no. Dude,
super
nuts.
Impressive. They're balling.
Super impressive. All right, draft time. The dream team, the all-time dream team's happening. D-line. We're going 2 tackles, 3 ends.
2 tackles, 3 ends.
You got the first pick. Who you got?
I got to go with the man they call the Minister of Defense. Give me Reggie White at defensive end, number 1
I was going to say
overall.
we're going to put him. I was, because he played both. I was debating putting him inside just because there are a lot of edges. Mm-hmm. As close as unanimous that you could get that he's probably number 1. But I'm going to go with some newer players next. And both of these guys are one of 3 people to win 3 defensive players of the year each. Nasty. Doesn't really matter the order, but I'll go 1, Aaron Donald at tackle, 2, J.J. Watt at edge.
Nice.
And I get the first draft on the linebacker one, so I'm going to have all 3 people that have ever won 3 defensive players of the year on my dream team.
And that's fine. I got Reggie White, dude. The best defensive lineman of all time. And right now.
That won it twice.
Right now, I'm going to pick the other guy in the argument. Do you know who that is?
Is that Joe Green? Who you going?
Yeah, I'm actually not going to pick that guy.
Wait, did I just give you other ideas?
No.
Oh.
You didn't.
Oh, you just know that you're waiting.
I was going to roll with Mean Joe Green either way. Dude's a beast. And it's a sick name. Reggie White, Minister.
Also, you got to do that for all the Pittsburgh fans. Got to do it for all the Pittsburgh fans.
You have to. Well, you got J.J. Watt, so they kind of like him because of his brother, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So I'll go Mean Joe Green, number 2.
Ooh.
Then I got to go, and he's a tackle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and get my second tackle right now because I think there's a lot of options on the end. I'm going with Warren Sapp.
Dang it.
Big boy in the gap. And that's one I had to get. And so I was really worried you were going to get him with one of your picks, and that's my guy. Warren Sapp.
I almost went Aaron Donald and Warren Sapp immediately to just lock up the interior.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been.
But now instead you gave me Warren Sapp and Mean Joe Green.
Dang it.
Let's go. Don't run inside on me. Especially not with Warren Sapp, which I think that's my favorite tackle of all time.
Yeah, he's mine too.
He was just
unstoppable. No, Aaron Donald, I mean, we're so recent to him, but
he's a beast, but Warren Sapp is huge. Aaron Donald, honestly, is a little I'm not ripping on his game at all. He's a little undersized for a tackle, but he's a monster.
Yeah.
Warren Sapp is a little oversized for a tackle, and he's still a monster.
That makes me so annoyed because I thought at first you were going to take him, and then I got a glimmer of hope and thought you weren't going to take him.
Yeah.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I still got 2 people that won 3 DPOYs.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
It's good.
All right. You've taken your tackles. I'm going to go with. These might not be the next best 2 edges, but it's my dream team, and so I'm going to do it the way that I want. I'm going to take Michael Strahan and Julius Peppers.
I could have called that one for sure. Yeah. Those are good picks. Love it. Yeah, Julius Peppers was a beast, man. Also a March Madness legend.
And when we talked about doing a favorite, those were the 2 people I had for the favorite. I'm like, I mean, they would just kind of make my regular list anyway.
Yep. I'm going to pick a guy I'll go ahead and pick the guy that was on my favorite list. Now, actually, I'll keep it in order so I don't get roasted for putting this person last. The other person I was talking about with being the other consensus best defensive lineman of all time is Bruce Smith.
A Hokie.
Was he a Hokie?
Yeah.
Dude was an absolute stud. When you talk about best defensive lineman of all time, the argument's between Reggie White and Bruce Smith, as far as I can tell. So I got both of them, which is huge. And then I'm going with the personal favorite, who is also up there, Hall of Famer Jason Taylor. I don't know if he was on your radar at all, but it's my favorite.
He was just outside of it.
Defensive end growing up. So not too mad about my team right now.
Oh, got to figure out what tackle I want. So for tackle, I really wanted Warren Sapp. Obviously can't have him. Cry about it a little bit. I feel like I've been gypping Dallas a lot, mostly on purpose. But 1, because he's really good. 2, is a nod to all the Dallas fans out there. I'm going to go with Randy White. The Manster.
The Manster.
The Manster.
That's a great nickname.
Plus, for a rounded team, he played defensive tackle, linebacker, and fullback, I think.
Yeah.
Well-rounded.
I mean, you could do that when you played in the 70s. Probably not now. Got some good squads.
He played from 75 to 88.
Right. Well, he probably played the other positions in the 70s is what I was getting at.
Fine. It's, my interior line's a little undersized, though. They're both probably like 260, 250.
Yeah, that's okay.
They're fast.
They're going up against Larry Allen, who benches 700 pounds.
He knocks him over and starts benching both of them.
He can bench both of those boys.
He can dumbbell bench him.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's fun.
If you've noticed, most of our drafts really have been me getting older guys and you getting like more modern guys.
Except for line, it flipped.
Yeah, it did.
We've kind of had some preferences on what we liked more on like position group wise.
And I honestly think it comes down to like what number you're picking.
Yeah.
I almost picked Warren Sapp number 1 overall. Just because I thought you were going to get him with 2 or 3.
I did. I just had in my mind, I'm like, how cool would it be to have all 3 of the players that won DPOY on your team? And I'm obviously going to get Lawrence Taylor first pick next draft.
Right.
So that's a cool fun fact about your defense.
That's a cool fun fact.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But anyway, thanks for listening. We'll be back next week.
Back
with our
at
smiling
it.
Faces.
Same time, same place.
Hitting linebackers.
Maybe not same time if I forget to, I'll probably do something dumb and come late again.
Yeah, we like that though. We love it.
Never know.
All right. Peace.